Larry Hoover got his sentence commuted. It don't mean what you think it mean, but it do mean something still. But it's a long fight ahead of it. I just got a couple clips. We gonna let WG in.
President Trump commutes the federal sentence of Larry Hoover, a former Chicago gang leader serving a life sentence.
However, that doesn't mean Hoover will be back on the streets anytime soon. WGN's Jenna Barnes joining us now with more on that. Jenna.
Mike and Ray, Hoover is now 75 years old. He was denied parole in this federal case just last year. Now with this commutation, he's expected to be moved from a supermax prison in Colorado back here to Illinois to serve prison time for a state sentence for murder. The notorious founder of the Gangster Disciples, Larry Hoover, was serving 6 life sentences in federal prison, convicted of running his criminal enterprise from inside an Illinois prison in the 1990s after his 1973 conviction for murder in the state.
There are crimes that are so heinous that they are not entitled to mercy, and his are among those.
Fuck this motherfucker right here, because I just want to say he's a representative of the United States of America. He's there, he litigates for them. And if you know the history of America, most of us should, even a little bit of it, you'll know that this country is the heinous actions and crimes committed by this motherfucking country. Yeah, we should, yeah, man. Yeah. My little girl came in here. The heinous crimes and actions that this month that America has committed against the world and its own people, even to be, you know what I'm saying, conceived to become what it is. You know what I mean? All that shit is like, how do you represent that, but then get on here and make statements like this? But we're gonna let him finish. I really just wanted to bring a little awareness to Larry Hoover, to the situation. Not that it hasn't already been on the internet, but I just know a lot of y'all on the West Coast may not be familiar with Larry Hoover. Incredible dude. Like I say, I'm not a member of that nation whatsoever. However, I got I'm not a member of that nation. I got relatives that claim that allegiance, but not me. But I do salute what his mind, his mental. Last night I was going to, if y'all would ask it too, we was gonna watch a whole short documentary on him in the end, just to kind of get motherfuckers up to speed on who he is, not from the perspective of the prosecutors, but from the perspective of the community. You know what I mean? Because Larry Hoover made sure that the kids was eating. You know what I mean? Not just grown motherfuckers that was trying to get it. You know what I mean? Chicago, rough place. But with that, I'm gonna let them finish. We're gonna finish this. We're gonna let them finish, and then I'm gonna get my final thoughts. We ain't gonna spend but probably like 7 more minutes on this, and we're gonna get up out of here.
Ron Safer was the lead prosecutor in Hoover's federal case.
There's no question that it is the biggest, most well-organized, most efficient drug organization that the country has ever known.
But
that's a bold-faced lie. That's a bold-faced lie. Like, all right, so real quickly, I'm gonna just, and y'all see this is what they do all the time. So he's the leader, and he is one of the kings of the GDs of growth and development. But they'll sit up there and say, okay, well, there's 30,000 members worldwide, or excuse me, nationwide, and any one of them that's selling drugs and shit, they all doing profits back to the what's called. That's just not right. I mean, but here go the fucked up part of it. On paper, yes, it may be some truth to that, but that's not the full picture. That's not what's really going on. It's the same way as like you say they was making kids, you know what I'm saying, 12-year-olds sell drugs and shit like that, but that wasn't the case. That was, and you got to be from these environments. But like I say, we in these environments and we impacted by the motherfucker that sit that the heinous crimes and actions that was done on motherfuckers is exactly why shit is so fucked up today. Like, man, no, y'all need to make sure that them kids got some can get some money too. Don't just keep it for y'all. You know what I mean? You need to show that they can be somebody too. But then the state will turn around and say, yeah, y'all was forcing kids to sell drugs and shit. Man, you know, and like I say, ultimately, it's a long fucking that's a long that's a lot to unpack. You know what I mean? How you get to that state, you know what I mean? And that's why I say that's a shit like this. I don't want to get too that, man. We'll be here for 8 hours. And I know motherfuckers got shit to do, but his story is worth unpacking. Who he was as a man is worth unpacking. But even more so, they don't. Y'all know about Larry Hoover, but y'all don't know, or at least most people don't know who Jeff Ford is, and people should know who Jeff Ford is. Before Larry Hoover was before he was before they was Gangster Disciples, he was an ambassador for the Black Peace Stones. A lot of y'all don't know Black Peace Stones is Chicago gang from the 60s. You know what I mean? El Rukins. But that's a whole nother thing. But all them people was friends, man. So it's the CIA shit still at play. The same shit they did with on the West Coast. They did it over there, but it started a little earlier. And I'm talking about the infiltration and shit. If y'all give a fuck about it, man, maybe I will do it, but I wouldn't be able to do it just about Larry Hoover. I'd have to do it about Willie Lloyd, Larry Hoover, and Jeff Fort to really kind of paint the full picture. But I would only do that shit if y'all was interested and would watch this shit. And don't say you gonna do it and then don't, because y'all did me dirty last night. I'm just fucking with you. But yeah, let me know if y'all want to do that. We will. We're gonna finish this. We're gonna let them finish up what they saying. Then we're gonna get how the family feels about it, and then we're gonna jump into this FMW shit that we missed yesterday morning, and then all this shit that King been talking last night or early this morning. I hope my boy getting some rest right now. Jeez.
Advocates, including celebrities, have been fighting for Hoover's release. Kanye West and Drake holding a benefit concert for the cause in 2021.
And that's another thing. So now what? I mean, I'm not no GD, so it don't mean shit to me. I mean, I'm glad that this movement got had, but how y'all feeling about Kanye now? Kanye helped get Larry Hoover's sentence commuted. Does this now undo all of the incendiary and inflammatory rhetoric he's been you know what I mean, putting out there over the last few months? Personally, no, hell no. You know what I mean? Good looking out, you know what I mean, for that man and his family and shit, but it's still, he's still too much damage right now. Kanye good for that shit. Does that do bring it back up? It comes back. Kanye had a significant role in getting that to Trump's desk and keep putting that on his shit. So he does get his credit for that a little bit, but like I say, now we still got is it 280 or is it 600? It's hundreds of years that motherfucker got on a murder charge from the state of Illinois. So still got to unpack that.
Hoover himself was in court just last year fighting for early release, renouncing his past. And Wednesday, President Donald Trump commuted his federal sentence. Hoover's attorneys writing, the courts have demonstrated a complete unwillingness to consider Mr. Hoover's considerable growth and complete rehabilitation.
We've got to learn how to respect one another and keep each other alive. Any voice that comes out with that message that may be able to help somebody, I'm for.
But Hoover's release from federal custody isn't freedom. He must return to Illinois to serve his 200-year sentence for murder, though legal experts say he is eligible for parole. The Department of Corrections website already lists him as an inmate in Dixon, but it's unclear if he's been moved yet.
When you locked up in them institutions and you have your conversation with God, Father God, let me out, I'll never do it again.
Former gang enforcer Wallace Gator Bradley, who has received a pardon, is hoping the governor will intervene and commute the state sentence.
I pray that Governor J.B. Pritzker will do it in here, and I pray that God hear the prayers of everyone that's asking him to do it. And in my heart and soul, I feel he's going to do it.
Yeah, man. I don't know. That's gonna be a sticky situation. I don't know if we got anybody from Illinois in here, but the prison system, the way the conditions in the Illinois prison system are that because of Larry Hoover, and I'm not saying that it was like because of something he did, but it was because of the politics that they were putting on him and trying to, like, they were doing, bro. It was dirt. They was doing dirty shit to try to put shit on him that didn't have nothing to do with him. Yeah, some ain't gonna get into that, but they were saying that he was things were happening. Basically, that he controlled the prisons, like none of the prisons could do nothing without checking in with him first. And it's just a lot of lies and shit. And they come back to, you know what I mean? It's the shit with Big U. You say something on the phone call and it's allegory, for lack of a better term. Like it don't mean it. I'm not saying this in a literal sense, you know what I mean? But a motherfucker that said, because, you know, the GDs used to get like the prisons in Illinois, they used to have GD picnics every year, you know what I mean? So motherfucker might bragged about, you know what I mean, a pool and shit on the phone one time or some shit like that. The next thing you know, now they saying that you got influence and none of the prisons can do anything without your, you know what I mean, all kind of fuck shit. But so it's a long shot to see if bro gonna really get not bro, but if Larry Hoover's gonna get his state sentence, be paroled on the state sentence. We'll see what happens with that. We're gonna let the family speak on it. Prison and I'm just gonna say this now. NBA YoungBoy got his sentence pardon. So for whatever the fuck that means, whatever that's worth, shout out to him. Hey, yeah, shout out to him. But NBA YoungBoy also had his it's free now. He wasn't, whatever that means. Feel like something's more at it, more to it. You never know what these slick devils really be up to.
In Colorado, his family hasn't been able to speak with him today to get his reaction to his commutation. Hoover still faces the remainder of a state prison sentence for murder, but his family is hoping for clemency from Governor Pritzker.
It's overwhelming. It's a long time coming, and we just want to hope it go all the way through.
The wife and son of Larry Hoover, after his 6 federal life sentences, were commuted by President Trump.
And he deserves redemption. He deserves a second chance at being a part of this community. And he could be a benefit to this community if they want him to be a benefit to this community.
Hoover co-founded the Chicago Gangster Disciples, and while behind bars for a 1973 murder, federal prosecutors say he continued to run the gang's prolific multi-state drug operations.
If Larry Hoover said there was going to be a killing, there was a killing.
Ron Safer was the lead federal prosecutor who secured Hoover's 1997 conviction for running a criminal enterprise behind bars.
I believe in redemption, but there are some crimes that are so horrific that they deserve the punishment to the full extent of the law.
As years passed, Hoover's case drew increasing attention, including from artists like Kanye West and Chance the Rapper.
Anyways, yeah, that's the family speaking on it. And we're gonna end it up there. Like I say, last thing I'm gonna say to that is Jeff Fort actually Jeff Fort and they tried to say that Jeff Fort was working with Al Qaeda, not Al Qaeda, but with motherfuckers over there with terrorist groups in either Africa or the Middle East to plan domestic terrorist acts and shit like that. So it'd be a long shot for Jeff Ford, but because all of that was mostly BS, it wasn't true. Maybe, you know what I mean? I just think y'all should look in, if you think anything positive or highly of Larry Hoover, you should go look into who Jeff Ford is and his story as well. It's, I don't want, like I said, I don't want to compare him, but he's lived he certainly lived a life. You know, we're gonna end that there.